All right. Test, test,
Test.
test, test.
Unfortunate passings in the world of pop culture, so we have to take a moment to mention this actor played some of the most prominent roles in some of our favorite movies. In particular, one of his famous lines was, "There is no tomorrow," and unfortunately, there is no tomorrow for the great Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, 1, 2, and 3. Uh, in various movies as well. Happy Gilmore, Nick mentioned Happy Gilmore being one of his movies of infinite rewatchability. About that last week. Predator is great in that movie, right? And then most recently on The Mandalorian. So
And even before all that, played for the Oakland Raiders.
Yes, right. He was a professional football player
in the CFL. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, not many former professional football players really went on to significant acting prominence. There's a few for sure, but he's on the short list, I think, who really made a long-term acting career.
Right. And
without a doubt. Yes, absolutely. So, I loved him in all those roles. I mean, being a Gen X guy, I mean, I grew up watching the Rocky movies in the theater. I think the first one I went to the theater to see was Rocky 3, where, of course, he became the trainer of Rocky Balboa to fight Mr. T. Just absolutely loved that movie. I really loved him in that mentor coach type role. I said Rock 1, 2, 3. Actually, he was in Rocky 4 as well. Of course, he was killed by Ivan Drago, as we know, and that motivated Rocky to fight him. But anyway, I don't know. I just loved his work and really enjoyed him. So I don't know what else to say really. So yeah, Dean, any words on the great Carl Weathers, sir?
Yeah, I do. First of all, let's get it out of the way. It would have been shitty to put online, but I'm very surprised that nobody, when found out, nobody put on Twitter a meme or whatever of Ivan Drago saying, "If he dies, he dies." Very surprised at that. I didn't see it. So, but honestly, when it comes to Carl Weathers, iconic is what I'd said before, and it's really, if anybody would have done one of those roles that he ever did, even to Action Jackson, when he did Action Jackson,
that's right.
If you would have done one of those roles, from Rocky to Predator to Action Jackson to Mandalorian, you are a legend. You already, and you're in upper echelon of iconic roles, and he did multiple ones upon multiple ones.
Yep.
Upon having a career in the NFL, and he was a brilliant director. Look at some of those ones from The Mandalorian that he directed.
That's very true. Yeah.
So behind the camera, in front of the camera, he was an icon. He is an icon. It's there's not a lot you can. When I've said it before many times about other celebrities that have died, but like, if you could, we should be so lucky to have half of the talent and good grace that this guy had. We should be so lucky.
Yeah.
He had all of it. This is, unfortunately, he has passed, and he had so much more to give. The Mandalorian movies coming up that he would have been a part of,
Sure.
which really sucks. But when you look at a career like that and a life like that, it's more of a celebration.
Yeah,
that we have to think about.
Yeah, what a body of work you left behind. Yeah, I mean,
exactly, and everything he's given to pop culture in general. We could do a Mount Rushmore of pop culture icons, and he'd have to be up in that running.
Right.
I agree. Nick, any thoughts on Carl Weathers?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have said most all of it, but I mean, at the end of the day,
Then let's move on.
Kind of touch on that. We would not be doing our job as a pop culture podcast if we did not talk about Carl Weathers, because, like you said, all of the different, just iconic pop culture movies that he's been a part of, and he's had such a huge hand in. Incredible actor, great in dramatic and comedy roles. I mean, he just like what you see the character of Chubbs. He was just so fucking funny. I mean, in that role, and just incredible. And I remember watching. That was not that long ago, actually. I was watching Predator with Oliver, and I'm like, looking at him, and you just forget what a fucking tank that guy was. He does not look out of place standing there with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right?
Like they do the arm scene, clap.
Like he is just fucking ripped.
I might have got a meme today with those arms.
You like that? Yeah.
I showed everybody at the table. They loved it.
Good stuff. But yeah, man. He was an icon. Just incredible. What can you say about Carl Weathers? I mean, even in his older age, I mean, he was still in great shape. Definitely a shock to hear that he had passed. But yeah, man, hope he's up there having a cold one with Abraham Lincoln and the alligator right now. So he's just up there, But rest in peace to Carl Weathers. He was truly an icon in pop culture, and I mean has so much that is what we do here, and he's given all of us a lot of memories over the years and a lot of fantastic roles. So great legacy to leave behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, not many actors have a popular character in several decades, and he certainly did.
Multiple.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how great go back, like you said, Brian, to Rocky III, and his motivational speech and yelling at Sylvester Stallone. It doesn't get much better than that when you're talking about those kind of movies, like that inspirational, powerful, in depth, like in your soul, like yelling and like what he brought to that shit, man. So amazing.
So good. Yes, Stallone said that if he can go back and redo Rocky IV, he wouldn't have killed Apollo. He would have, let that character carry on. It would have been nice to see Apollo continue that coaching and mentoring, even in the Creed movie with his son, perhaps, in that role or something. But yeah, and arguably the greatest of all the actors, the greatest scene of running down a beach in 80s shorts and tube socks of any actor. Right next to that, maybe Stallone.
So you haven't seen the one with Nick and I doing the same thing. Well, before you make that judgment, Brian, wait to see our...
Wait till you have all the information, please.
Yes.
I would like to see you guys reenact that scene with Stallone.
Oh, we have.
And okay, I want to see it. Absolutely.
We recorded on beta. We'll show you later.
I like it. It might get 18 views on YouTube or something like that. Yeah, very good.
Slathered with batter number 11.
Yes.
That was the outtake.
Call back to last week. Okay, and another a very popular person in pop culture in the world of country music recently passed away. Toby Keith passed away, 62, stomach cancer. Poor man. So, most known for Red Solo Cup, a very popular song. I would venture to guess
known for
one of his most notable.
Honestly, a plethora. I mean, really, the guy had a ton of.
I don't know country music that well. I mean, I like.
Well, allow me, because I do. No.
Please go right ahead. No, seriously, go ahead.
No, I was very sad to hear this. A lot of people may not know this about me, but I fucking love Toby Keith. I am not a country music fan. I believe I've stated it before on this podcast. I don't even really like country music, but I'm gonna take you back in time, back to 1993 or thereabouts. A little mullet-headed Nick and his family of modest means back in the early 90s. We heard a little ditty that tickled our fancies. It was called "Should Have Been a Cowboy." And as you all know, I grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan. My family, the majority of them were Dallas Cowboys fans. And Toby Keith with that song basically single-handedly put my entire family into an a multi-year country phase. That's all we listened to. We listened to a lot of those '90s countries, but all songs that all started with Toby Keith. I love his debut album, the self-titled Toby Keith album from 1993. Put it on from time to time. His first couple albums, that one and the second record, Boomtown, were both big in our household. And I think it's a testament to him as far as like what things that I have to say about him, because despite that little fad, that moment in time when I was a kid and I used to listen to a lot of country radio, I always kind of followed along with what he was doing. He had songs that I knew. I'm not going to profess to be his largest fan. I didn't go to his concerts. I didn't buy his records. I'm sure he and I would have disagreed greatly on politics and social issues of the like, but I don't know what it was, man. I always liked Toby Keith. I had that soft spot in my heart for him. He gave me a lot of good memories with his early career, and even through the years, he made such great, fun drinking songs. Just the other day, after I'd heard he passed, I was going through the discography and looking at other songs other than the first couple albums that I really knew, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, Whiskey for My Men, Beer for My Horses. I Love This Bar. Ain't As Good As I Once Was. There was all these songs that I'm like, oh man, and obviously the Red Solo Cup and stuff. It just, like I said, I don't really like country music in general, but I always liked Toby Keith. And I was sad to hear that. I knew he had stomach cancer, but I thought I'd heard maybe last year he was hopeful that he would be back on the road soon. He wrote like a letter to his fans saying that, he was doing well and he appreciated all the well wishes and he hoped to be back on the road in the next summer or two. So it was encouraging. I didn't really know that it had taken a turn for the worse. So, yeah, man, rest in peace. I'm going to raise one up for the big dog daddy. Rest in peace to Toby Keith. I said, I enjoyed his work. So cheers to Toby.
Nice.
Gentlemen, Toby Keith fans, anyone of the like?
I am a I'm a country music fan up until 99. I grew up on 60s, 70s, early 80s country. I as a youth, like Nick, I went through a phase of, Garth Brooks, Toby Keith, Alan Jackson. I loved all that. There is nothing to this day that I love more than putting on 90s country in my earbuds and mowing the lawn and singing out my little fucking heart. I will sing everything from my childhood as loud as I possibly can. Where I've been called out from it, that I'm singing louder than the mower, which I am perfectly okay with.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Right? But Toby Keith was part of that. With all of the songs, I'm going to go through what Nick said, but all of those songs that he had were iconic and beautiful and fantastic, especially for a 90s country fan. But let me focus on the one song. How Do You Like Me Now is one of the greatest fuck you songs to like a girl. Like
Sure.
Brian, the basics of the song is,
How do you like me now? Now that I'm on my way. Yeah, right.
The basis of the song is that, he's talking about that in high school, she made fun of him because he had his guitar and thought he was going to be big and made fun of him. And now she's in the front row of his show that he's playing millions of these people or thousands of these people. And it's, how do you like me now?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, bitch. You laughed at me then. I'm on the stage and you're in the fucking front row. Fuck you.
Mm.
Such a good song.
Yeah. The lyrics weren't quite as eloquently put as you just had displayed, but it was something like that.
Yeah. It's in that line. But also,
go fuck yourself, bitch. You're in the front row, and I'm on this stage.
But and also, a man after my own heart. He actually got into the professional wrestling ring.
Did he?
Yeah, TNA wrestling a few years ago, probably maybe 10 years ago. But you remember, Nick, that celebrities would jump in there and try to wrestle. Karl Malone,
sure.
and they look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
he actually did like moves and like trained and learned how to do the shit. And he busted Jeff Jarrett's ass a couple times in TNA wrestling. So, I mean, he, especially at that point in his life, you know, I fucking love it. I love professional wrestling. Why not go in and make a cameo a couple times, have fun?
Yeah.
And he did that with not only that, but like his songs too. You know, why not have fun?
Yeah.
Why not make the songs that are toe tap and that gets the beat going? Again, like Nick said, I'm not the biggest fan. You know, I don't have the discography, I don't have the records, but I appreciate everything he did. I appreciate, you know, what he did for my fandom when I was, you know, listening to country music in the 90s. And to this day, let's go ahead and start the mower, and I will sing my fucking heart out to him. So,
Hell yeah.
rest
Excellent.
in peace, Toby Keith.
There
Yes,
you
sir.
go. Yeah, I'm not much of a country music fan in general, but knowing some of those songs you mentioned, that to me is more of country music that I would prefer versus some of it's basically almost like rock type music these
It's
days.
boy band shit these days.
Yeah, I like the more traditional sounding voice and music and all that. That was his thing. So that's good stuff. So yes,
We
rest in peace.
We should all figure out a perfect time, and we all should agree to fuck the Conway Twitty, like a specific song, and put our like swatches where we click the time. We all start fucking the Conway Twitty. You guys,
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Brother, I've been doing that for years. Your sister begs me to stop, but I'm like, no, this is me. This is what you signed up for. It's me and Conway Twitty.
Another synchronized Twitty session. That's right.
Yeah, ooh, synchronized Twitty session. I like that.
Yep.
Find that shirt on
I like it. Yeah. If you're alone, so be it. You just got to go with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Wherever you're at, you just got to do it.
I think synchronized Twitty session should be a new shirt design on our website.
That's throw it up there.
Hey, Team with Convincing Idiots, Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.
Ham gravy.